Hey guys, this video is brought to you by G Fuel Energy. G Fuel is the official energy drink of esports. I love G Fuel because it's a healthy alternative to any other energy drink. G Fuel is filled with vitamins and minerals. It has 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and 15 calories. My favorite flavor this week is Clickbait. It tastes so good and it helps me be better at all of the video games I like to play on Twitch. G Fuel is available in lots of gas stations nationwide, or you can go online and use the code Natalie for a special discount. All right, let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Wanting to Kill Myself of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I'm here with the amazing comedians Giulio Gallarotti and Andy Haynes. How are you guys?
I'm great.
Good. Yeah. Nice. I was surprised that Andy was here, but a pleasant one.
Yeah, it was a good surprise, because if it was like it could have been somebody who I would have been like, ah, fuck, I got to deal with this guy, you know? But I like Giulio. I'm a very antisocial person. I don't really let that on, but there's like 100 people that I'm like, no fucking way am I fucking sitting with you for an hour.
You don't seem antisocial to me.
Yeah, I don't really let on. I do a real nice job of like politicking, being like, oh, I got to go.
Yeah, you're pretty good at the smile and wave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any ill will towards anybody.
Yeah.
You know, there's only a few people out there who I think are inherently bad.
Oh, I feel that way about a lot of people, that they're inherently bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think most of the time when I like dislike somebody, I'm like, man, they're fucked up. They're going through it worse than me.
Right,
Ooh, you're mature. You're mature.
I am.
They are fucked up. Like when people are bad, like people are acting from a place of ill will, they are usually going through pain. I do believe that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that then we sort of like let them off the hook because of that,
Right.
which is like a hard thing to balance. Like, how do you have empathy for a person who's suffering, but while they're being an asshole?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Right. They have, at a certain point, you have to start taking responsibility for your actions.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like people who, you know, like those people that only call you in crisis.
Yeah.
And then you will be like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, I feel good. I don't need you. And you're like,
Right. You're like, okay.
Those people are the ones that I like get caught with the most, because I don't like go the next time. I don't go like, hey man, you aren't really like a reliable person. I'm just like, all right, talk to me about your shit.
Yeah. I did say
Tell me your stuff.
It's really funny. I maybe it's partially selfish. Because I enjoy helping. Like if somebody's like, what should I do?
Mm-hmm.
I typically enjoy that conversation.
I like feeling useful too. Like I like contributing. I like feeling like
Totally
a good friend.
Do you guys do ASMR ever? You ever do the tinglies thing?
So my question is, how would one do it? Like I know that it's a thing.
Well, the most common way is to like a YouTube video of ASMR people. Okay. I use it sometimes to nap. I have a very biased feed of attractive ASMR women.
What do you like to listen to? Like noodle slurping?
No, none of that. No. Just like a woman whispering.
Nice.
But I get the same kind of, you get this like, you know when the top of your head tingles, it almost feels like goosebumps on the top of your head.
Yeah.
I get that in like weird, I get it when I get my hair cut. I get it when I do like a photo, like when somebody's like, I also get it when I do a over the phone survey, which I don't do anymore. Nobody ever calls me.
What do you mean the top of your head is tingling?
It feels like the whole top of your head got like goosebumps. Like it almost like solidifies.
In a good way or a bad way?
Can you imagine that being a bad way?
Oh.
Fair
I
question.
feel like Kim Gordon's voice, you know, from Sonic Youth. It's very specific reference, but her voice I always felt like that when I always felt like her voice is very soothing.
Yeah, this is a very specific, I don't know if there's any science behind it, but when you listen to the people whisper, especially if they're attracted and bosomy, you just relax and get goosebumps and, you know.
This would be a good I could use some relaxation today.
You should do it.
It does help. And I typically can't wind down without the aid of something. Like if the second I get in a yoga class, I'm like, I wish I could just be this tired.
Wow.
Like the way I feel at the beginning of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a guided meditation type thing, which I never use, but when I have, I'm out in like 2 seconds.
I should totally take these practices. Like, I feel like yesterday I actually went to bed at a reasonable time, and I felt okay today for the first 2 hours of the day. And I was like, okay, this is progress.
My life is actually like the whole quality of it has been compromised by my wife's need to watch TV to fall asleep. Like it's the biggest problem in my life is that my wife she has to fall asleep with the TV on, and I have to fall asleep with it off. And
why can't she? You can use it. You can hook earbuds to the TV.
It's the light. It's like the.
Do you do sleep timer?
No, I put a pillow. I sleep on my stomach, and I put a pillow over my head.
My dad used to do that.
And then a lot of times, if it's like, because I have a day job that sometimes requires me to be up at like 6:30, and when that happens, I'll just go sleep on the couch. We got a nice couch.
Crazy.
That's love.
That's love.
Yeah, that is love.
Guys, before we even get into it further, I just like to start off asking the best advice you ever received. Giulio, do you want to go first?
For sure. So I guess I'm sure it's hard to say the best. It's like the best that I could remember when you told me that you were going to ask me this. And I thought of something that was pretty good. And it was a comedy related thing.
Okay.
Where I kind of saw a comedian who I thought was super comfortable in his own skin. And I was like asking him, I'm like, how are you so comfortable with all these like people around and like all this judgment and all this stuff? And he's like, dude, because like, who cares? He's like, you just have, and I know this is like pretty cliche, but like, it was just specific to me. He's like, you just have to do the things that you need to do. And like anybody else doesn't really matter.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's useful and nice. I don't know. That resonated with me.
I do feel like the moment that you realize that nothing matters and you stop caring about other people's opinions, that's the most freeing thing.
Yeah.
It's very hard to actually like embody that. Like you can think it, but you have to like embodying that and like letting yourself go that way is like a whole other thing. It's easier said than done, I feel.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that I've accomplished it, but but it's a thing that I keep it that's comforting sometimes when I like need it.
I think that's good advice too, and that's the second time someone has said that on this in the past couple of weeks too. Like,
right.
That's the best advice I've received. Is I know what you know what you need to do, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I know that it's not groundbreaking or necessarily original, but I don't know. It felt specific and helpful in the moment.
Yeah. Andy, what do you think?
I'm sober, so I get like a lot of gems from that, which I was gonna pull from. But I actually had recently I was like doing a set at the Cellar, and it wasn't like going great, and so then I like went out. I was done with my set, and I went out to the stairwell, and a very famous comedian was sitting there listening to my set. He might have been canceled for jerking off in front of people. And I was just like, man, like I am having no fun. And he was like, yeah, how long you been doing it? And I was like, 17 years. And he's like, that's nothing. He's like, I didn't get this until I was like 20 years in. And then he was like, you should, you basically have to quit and keep doing it. Like just as much. Quit, but keep. And I think that's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
As, you know, it's you have to stop doing things for anybody else. You know, I really think like there's a lot of things that we have to do in this business that are like, you know, like you have to know how to use the internet now. You have to use social media, unless you're like one of those anomalies that people are just so attracted to and they love the fact that you aren't online.
There's like a handful of those.
So bizarre.
Yeah. Like Ethan Simmons Patterson doesn't have any social media, but he's like a very unique person.
Yeah.
But I think really like you can't do stuff for other people. And I think it's almost impossible to like ever genuinely be like, what's trending? You know what I mean? Like I've tried, I've made every mistake you can make in show business, I think, and comedy, life, and but every time that I've tried to do something inauthentic, it really shows.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like someone told me this story once about like them saying that they'd been doing comedy for 10 years. And I think it was like Jerry Seinfeld or someone who was like, oh, you're a baby or something. But like, it's kind of that idea that like, I think that people think there should be some sort of immediate success, but it takes so long to be good at something. And I think it's weird because now it's like you need social media, but social media gives you this idea of immediate success. But comedy, entertainment, acting, that takes a very fucking long time. It's like it takes so long to find your voice. It takes so long to like let go of what other people think. It takes so long to become genuine that it's, I don't know. After shows, I feel like this guy came up to me after a show and he was like, so like, how long does it take to like do this? And then like I was standing with Ali Makovsky and she was like, 10 years. And he's like, really? And she's like, yeah, they say 10 years. And he's like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, I think it's weird because like there are people who show up. Like I was like maybe 6 or 7 years in when Che came on the scene, and he was like an open micer, and then like a year later he was like on the Daily Show, and then the year after that he was on SNL, and it was like
It happened very quickly for him.
But it was like,
It's only
I
a
think
few of
he
those
also,
people.
he like lived enough life. And I think there's a lot of people that get into this where they've lived enough life that, like, I even think of like Lisa Traeger is like another person who just came in fully formed, you know, where they were just like, this is how I am and you're going to like it or not. And people liked it. You
Totally.
know?
And to the finding your voice thing that you had mentioned, it's like, it's like a literal statement, what that is, like finding your voice. But like they tell you that when you start comedy and you're like, for me, it didn't like land. I didn't understand what that meant. And what I take it as now, and you guys can tell me if you agree with this, is like being able to just like talk as yourself and express your actual ideas.
Yeah, that's Patton Oswalt said that to me one time. He was like, it's not like you find a voice. It's like you literally are talking with a group of people and then you go on stage and you don't change anything.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
Yes. Like, I feel like that's one thing that I was like, this is what I'm going to focus on is like when I go on stage and when I walk off stage, my voice should sound exactly the same. Like, I shouldn't be like, this is my Natalie joke voice. And then like, hey guys, what's up? Like, I should just be like the same exact fucking person. And I think that's, and like sometimes when you're working on that, you can't even work on jokes. Like, you just have to work on being you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have more fun doing a set where I'm just talking as myself than if I'm killing with a bunch of rehearsed jokes. Although I always kill, and so I wouldn't know the difference.
No, but it's so true. And there's something to that. And it's like it's a, you know, obviously a process, and it kind of, if you stick with it long enough, you obviously will make some degree of progress. It's always funny to see. So there's like the people like Che who like, they just get on stage and you're like, oh, this guy's like really solid already. You know what I mean? Immediately. But then there's people who you're like, this guy is a complete lost cause. And then like 10 years later, he's really good at comedy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. As the longer that I've been in it, and I haven't been doing it as long as you, but I'm like getting there. It's amazing to see how many people turn the corner, and like, not just with comedy, they become like a passable social person.
Yeah.
It's like they figure it all out, and all of a sudden they're cool. And I'm like, dude, do you remember when you were like the biggest fucking pain in the ass to be around and like not funny?
Yeah, I know a ton of people where it was like, this guy, there's no chance. He should go home, you know?
Dude, it's
And
crazy.
then they stuck at it, and I don't know, something clicked.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
The thing is that like you have to fall on your face in front of everyone, and it's really fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. It's the only art form where you practice in front of people.
Yep.
You know, we were watching Coda.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. It
I
made
loved
me
it,
cry.
yeah, same.
And I have a really hard time crying. That's why that's notable. No, I really do.
I cried on the drive over here.
That's great. You should cry. I
healthy.
I admire the female ability to engage emotions. I'm like you know, like my dad has to like tell me he's proud of me once every 15 years, and then and I just squeeze one drop out. And having said that, I'm also a huge pussy, so it's very weird. But what the fuck were we talking about?
You have to
the
you have to
practice
fail
thing.
in front of you practice in front of people.
Yeah, like musicians, they go in a room and they practice.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And then we're like, all right, let's see if these strangers are entertained by me practicing. You know?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You really have to fall on your fucking face in front of people. The thing is that you kind of learn how to. I feel like I've developed a confidence from falling on my face in front of people because
You're clumsy.
I'm very clumsy, and I've learned it's like you kind of have a self-acceptance, and you're like,
This is impressive.
Yeah,
by the
can I
way.
ask? Both of
the
us were
elbow
wondering,
inversion.
is this a yoga thing, and what is going on?
this is kind of like inverting into myself. Like, it's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that's the most
They're very impressive.
anti-power pose I've ever seen. You're literally
Contortion.
you're
Listen.
folding up.
I am folding up. I am stretching.
Okay.
I'm stretching. I'm catching myself.
Mm-hmm. Wait, can I ask though? Is that it? Kind of gives me. It's like a little bit the Mary Catherine Gallagher like fingers in the armpits, kind of like nervous.
Oh, but you know what? Fingers in the armpits. At least you get to smell them afterwards. This is just some bullshit.
Oh man, that feels good.
It does.
Try that out.
You,
Oh man,
you try it out.
Your delts?
I can't really
You try
Are
this.
those your traps?
But you
What are
also
these?
you begin to feel.
tricep?
Okay.
No.
Maybe.
I would argue. So both of you guys, you both are in relationships.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice, healthy relationships.
I
As
wouldn't say
as a single woman, this is kind of also a way to give myself a hug. So it's
Oh.
it's a you turn
nice.
your elbows in, right? I like that. And you're kind of
I don't think it's that easy.
you're kind of giving yourself this sort of hug,
Wait, is it
talking about your failures.
rotate your hands normal? Okay, yes. So they're
Yeah.
in.
So I could be going, oh, open heart, right?
God.
We're talking. If we want to talk about chakras, right?
Mhm.
Oh, this is my heart chakra, and I have it out exposed. Or we're talking about our vulnerabilities. Oh, I'm going to have to hide this, put it away, give myself a
got
little
it.
hug. Maybe that's what my body is doing. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
A lot going on there.
I couldn't tell you.
It's fun
Well, I'm sorry to call it out, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
No.
and impressive.
You
Yeah.
know what's so funny, Auntie? So
This can't be good.
How do I say this?
Yeah, this isn't how you start a compliment. This is going to be an embarrassing story about me. isn't
no,
it?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, no. You were just in Iraq.
I was, yeah. I was.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Shifting gears.
And how was that?
It was great, honestly. And I've talked. I think Andy and I maybe talked about it before I was going. It's a thing that's kind of becoming more known that it's a trip that you can take fairly easily. And I kind of wanted to get ahead of that and try to get some of this stuff out before a lot of it starts to come out, which I suspect it might. I have no idea, but anyway, it was pretty chill, easy to visit.
Do you fly into Baghdad?
I flew into Basra and out of Baghdad.
I want to
Cool.
stop you there. You want to get a lot of stuff out before it started to come out. What do you mean?
Meaning, like, I just think that the Iraq
Travel bloggers,
Well,
people that go,
So they and
But
those
like what stuff?
Okay, so the travel vlogger stuff I'm not as worried about because they've already been doing it. It's just like a little different, but I just don't want. I want it to be like the first kind of comedy crossover person to do it.
You were worried that other the
Males.
the Baghdad content.
Kind of. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Well,
You were finding your niche.
So this is the thing, and like this is the thing that I do, and like we both like love like I mean, sorry that I'm speaking for you, but I know that we've talked about having
Yeah.
like different ideas for like fun travels.
You're doing things that I wish I did.
You
but
kind
I-
of want to beat Andy to it.
No, there's a guy. I've been seeing people posting that they're there.
Oh.
And it kind of like lit a fire under my ass to be like people who have bigger followings than me and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to like get caught in their shadow because they can drop whenever and it doesn't matter. But if I do it after them, then it'll look like I copied them when I did it first. You know what I mean, it shouldn't matter, but like whatever. It was
And
an
it's
incentive.
not USO shit.
No, not at all. So it's like just literally going there, buying a plane ticket and going. No other preparation needed besides you need a guide because it's hard to move city to city. Not because anybody's sketchy or mean. It's just like they're just kind of like, okay, let me just call my boss because I don't want to get in trouble. And they're like, hey, and then like you would just end up getting caught up at every checkpoint. But if you have the guides with you, then you just breeze right through.
Did you go to Sadr City?
No,
Damn.
because you can't. It was closed off. I think.
So
I'm just
talk to me about like what did you want to see there? Like what was your experience? What were the questions that you had before? Like
So all this stuff, it was sort of like, okay, are people going to be cool to me? Like, are people going to somehow resent the fact that I'm American, or will they think it's awesome? And they thought it was awesome.
Yeah, that's ballsy of you to wear an Uncle Sam outfit. That was crazy.
I was very, I didn't actually. But so the people were all really nice. They're really friendly. They're dying to be on camera. and they like know about like all the shit. So they're kind of like, what's your YouTube channel? And I literally am now like self-conscious. I'm like, oh, you know, my YouTube isn't that good. Like,
Yeah.
did you check out my Instagram? It's better. Like, you know what I mean? Type of thing. I'm like, is this really happening right now? You know? And then people were just like, they just like give you stuff for free, which is crazy.
Like what?
You'll just like, I don't know, you'll be walking down the street and you'll see a little cart and they're selling whatever, sandwiches. And you'll be like, oh, I'll take a sandwich. And they give it to you. And then you try to pay. They're like, no. And like taxis too, like I've got free taxis like half the time because again they'll be like welcome.
Please don't raid my house later.
Is it because you're like supporting the economy and there's not a lot of tourists, or like what?
Maybe I think they just think it's super cool that I'd come visit.
Cool
type of thing because I don't think there's very little tourism.
I have noticed that like every place I've gone that would have kind of sketched me out as far as like my Americanness, people were almost always welcoming.
Totally.
They didn't give a shit, even though we'd done horrible things there as a government.
Like what? Like where?
And that's the distinction, though. They're like, oh yeah, you didn't do it. Like they're like smart enough to know that.
That's
Cuba,
the difference between Americans and I feel like other countries, because
Totally.
Americans are like, oh, you did do it. Like
I
if an
know.
Iraqi person came here, Americans would be like, it's you,
It's,
but
like,
you go
shameful.
there,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, we know it's not you. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I anywhere in Latin America that I've been, and I've been to most of it, but we've done some pretty bad stuff in most of those countries. But Cuba was like the most like I got pneumonia in Cuba, and they like assigned me a doctor. Like I had a personal doctor, and I think it was more like this American is not going to die here because it'll make us look bad because our whole thing is our healthcare system.
Oh, right.
But it was people were so nice and hospitable and things like that, and we've like put a chokehold on their economy for 50 years. So
Totally.
What do you think
commendable.
is the biggest misconception that Americans have about Iraq?
Well, I think that. So this is the thing that I've learned, and I think that you maybe would agree with this, but I don't know. Again, I'm putting words in your mouth for the second time.
we'll see.
But I find that like people are scared of things that they shouldn't be scared of. When like in my experience, the most dangerous thing has always been petty crime.
Yeah.
Like if you're walking around a South American city for long enough, like you're gonna get robbed eventually. You know what I mean? Like that is a real thing that can and will happen potentially, depending where, obviously. But in Iraq, like you're not like terrorism and like kidnapping and that kind of shit. Famous last words. But like that's not gonna happen to you, dude. Pretty much anywhere. And Iraq is no exception. And to be honest, it's a way more sort of doable and safer trip than, for example, going to like Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's like the weirdest thing about when you want to go to these places is people's like misconceptions is they always think like Bogota, Mexico City, Rio, like everybody who is from those places or like knows a little bit. They're like, so are you getting a bodyguard?
Totally.
And you're like, no. And they're like, aren't you worried about getting kidnapped? And I'm like, no, because my dad doesn't own the TV station there. Like, and the thing I always wonder about that is that like people will be like, you're gonna go to this place, and you're like, yeah, there's people there. Like, what do you think? They're just in a state of like, just constant violence. Like, no, they go to the store and they have dinner with people and shit like that. I mean, I don't know if I'd visit Kiev anytime soon, but like
a place that's being actively bombed is like pretty much the only place that I would consider going to.
And also with like the places like Mexico City and anywhere in Brazil and places like that, everybody's always like, I hear about the kidnapping, I hear about the gangs and all that stuff. And then they always are like, I heard about a guy who, he got kidnapped or he got robbed or he got shot. And then it's like, well, what was he doing? And it was like, oh, well, he walked into a favela to buy cocaine. And you're like, yeah, send a guy to Brownsville and have him try to find cocaine and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
As two people that have been in comedy for a long time, do you feel like, and two people that love to travel, do you feel like traveling is something that's kept you sane, or do you feel like traveling's played a role in your ability to like stay in this, keep your head on straight in this industry? Like, I don't know. Can you talk to me about that?
Giulio's better than I am at like creating content around travel. I think that it's been a big distraction for me for a long time, like because I've flirted with the idea of doing like travel shows and things like that, but it was just like a reason to like give myself a break, kind of like get outside of myself. But it's like it's hard because it is like a distraction. Like it's rare that I go internationally and I do comedy and it's actually like building. I mean, maybe I build fan base, but it's so minute. I think like as far as career stuff, if you're not generating a ton of content around your travel, then the best thing for you is to just stay somewhere and grind until those places ask you to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, the longest time it was like like my first 4 years in New York before I moved to LA and back, I would just go on kayak like once a month, and I would type in these dates, and then I would find the farthest ticket for the cheapest price of money.
Cool.
And I would just do that like every 2 months. And it was just like a way to like not be an open micer and a mover and whatever, think about this city for like a couple, a week or so.
Totally.
But now it's more like, I earned it or whatever.
Yeah, dude, I totally feel you. And it is true. And I've struggled with that too. The idea that's like, okay, like you need to kind of stay put and like do your shit. And that's like how you build and grow and like make headway as a comedian, right? But with trips, if it's not like a comedy trip, like to me, some of the things that I did that like killed my momentum the most was like thinking that going to LA for a month was going to do anything.
Right.
That was stupid of me in retrospect.
I just canceled an LA trip just based on that pure, what the fuck am I going to LA for? I don't need to go to LA.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you kill whatever you're doing here. So, but the traveling, like the way we're talking about, to me is different.
Well,
it's like, it's never, it goes by so fast and nothing changes. Like that's what I've always found, and agreed that it can be a little bit of a distraction. And like, while I do make stuff out of it, it's not like I've made any money, like quite the opposite. Honestly, part of it is like the only way that I can convince my loved ones that it's okay for me to do this stuff is if I act like it's at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's literally part of it.
Yeah. I think the same thing. Like I wish that I was better at, like I just rented a van and I drove through the Rockies for a week, like a camper van.
Sick.
And it was like awful. Like it was like 8 degrees at night, and I didn't realize that all the parks were closed. And so like I would literally, I would like park in like a house that was for sale, and I would run an extension cord from the van to the house for sale in their driveway.
Hilarious.
Because I needed heat. The first night I slept literally in 8-degree heat, and I was like in like a North Face bubble suit in a 0-degree bag.
Oh my God.
By yourself?
My puppy was with me.
Aww.
Yeah, and I put her in a little North Face suit too, and shoved her in the suitcase or the sleeping bag, not the suitcase.
In the suitcase.
But that's like the same thing. It's like you can do a lot with it. It can be a tool, but it's also like stand-up's hard because I feel like it's like a thing that comes out of repetition and it's like laps, like any professional athlete. I think it's closer. I think art has this like talent misconception where in reality, like most artists are like sitting there and they're just like drawing a pencil figure over and over and over for 10 years, or they're like playing a scale for 10 years and things like that. And I think that that's like something that people miss about stand-up. And I also think it's why like a lot of people who are really good at content aren't good at stand-up, because they can be hilarious as people, but stand-up has this weird thing where it's like, and this is also like a thing I see in LA a lot with like celebrities, is like they will be funny people, but it's not necessarily something I want to sit down and watch.
I feel like it's Derek Gaines gave me this advice on this podcast, but like his advice was just like get on stage. Like it's literally just get the fuck on stage. Like get on stage as much as you can. And I think, whenever anyone asks advice, like that's like the only thing you can say. It is repetition. It is just like just do it. And I feel like it's hard for me to even take a one day where I'm not doing something. I can't even imagine like going. I think right now I'm kind of like using being a workaholic as like a way to escape anything that I'm experiencing emotionally. So
good.
That's kind of like like what I'm doing. But I feel like
you're young. You can just deal with this at like age 40.
Yeah, I'm just
when
kind
you've
of
burnt down like an entire opportunity, but you'll have money, so you'll be okay.
What do you mean burnt down an entire opportunity?
I don't know. Just
we'll see.
Yeah, that's it. That's the exciting part.
I just feel like
you'll be the first lady to be canceled for sexual harassment.
Okay.
And then
who would I be sexually harassing? Everyone's so ugly.
A key grip.
Yeah.
You definitely would like the crew more than you would like the
the
actors.
crew is way hotter. I feel.
See, I guessed it.
And the actors are just such dicks, and they're too like feminine. Like I feel like it's too.
Yeah.
They're too just like into themselves. It's not hot.
That's
to
a
be
female
into
trait.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Narcissism is so feminine sometimes.
Yeah. That's why I hate myself
Yeah.
as a man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, actually hating yourself is a form of narcissism because it's self-obsession. However,
I do it passively.
yeah.
I do very manly shit while
I just
ice baths, punching trees,
Yeah.
fight a dog with my mouth like a dog would.
Ooh, okay. Okay. I feel like,
That's great.
a quiet, rich grip.
Okay.
No, that's
the fucking
disgusting.
anomaly. What is
Yeah.
That's
it?
disgusting.
A crypto-millionaire that still has a day job?
That's disgusting. I don't know.
Have you dated like an older guy outside of comedy?
Yeah.
See,
How
that's
old?
50.
Or what's the age difference at least?
I think I talked about this on the last episode, but I feel like I always date guys that are 10 years older than me, like regardless of like career, and I think it's bad. I think I should go for people that are my age.
Just do what you got to do, Do like
They're
what,
not
what
rich.
makes it right or wrong.
They're not rich. They're,
Yeah, you shouldn't date guys that are not rich. But I mean, I think you're doing a huge service for those dudes.
I think it's
What are
charity
you,
work as well.
26?
I'm 27, and I've been doing charity work for quite some time now.
Yeah, that's great. Think about how even if you just go on a couple dates with that guy, think about how you made that 1 month of his life not utter hell.
Talk about a couple of dates. He moved in and lived with me and my mom. I mean, I don't know.
Was that your
wow.
ex-fiance?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't get engaged, Keep the brand strong.
The brand must stay strong. How did we get here?
I don't know.
Okay, so to get back to the original
Thank
you, Giulio.
Thank
so you were
you.
asking about
Iraq.
no, so about no, more generally the idea of like what about travel is so alluring, and I find that
Yes, I'd love to travel.
it gives me a lot of perspective about my own life.
Yeah.
So like anytime I'm elsewhere doing new things, I just feel really free from my like neuroses at home, the way that I think I need to do things. And I'm just here on this ride, experiencing all these new things, and I get to commit all my energy to it. And it feels really, really nice. It feels like really relaxing to me. Even if I'm doing a crazy trip, like I just feel super relaxed.
Yeah, go ahead. It's your podcast.
Okay, I find it very hard to like relax when I'm in the space where I'm used to being neurotic. Like I know that like I could easily take like 2 days to not do work when I'm at home and just like spend time like chilling, being with my dog, going to the park, going on a hike. But that's the space where I'm used to like working all the time or used to like thinking a certain way. So it's very hard for me to like chill in that space, like go to a yoga class or like do a meditation from an app on my phone, because that's just like where I have the ritual of being the
You
way
gotta
that
go
I
more
am right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do. You got a car, right?
I do.
Get out of the city.
Yeah.
Drive up to your mom's.
I live with my mom.
This is turning
I
into
thought your mom lived
ASMR.
up in Rockland County.
No.
Didn't you? All right. You lied to me.
Where does your mom live?
We live together.
Right.
No, but hold
I
on.
wasn't sure if you still
Back when like in October of 2018, we were going to
Yes.
do that show up in, I thought that's where you lived.
No.
Oh, okay. I had that wrong. Anyways, I find I'm the same way. I have like a autistic level of memory. It's fucked up. I really do think I'm on the spectrum, but I don't want to validate my wife's jokes. And
that's good.
but to get into those kind of situations where I like get out of myself, I really do have to. Like I do a lot of like not extreme sports, I wouldn't say that, but I do
Ooh.
things where like I've been doing a lot of like hiking in snow, like while I'll take a ski lift up to the top of a mountain and then I'll like hike a long ridge, or I'll do like an ice bath, or I'll do
I do ice baths too.
things like
Really?
that where it's like I'm forced to be present. It's like really
Active relaxation.
yeah.
Have you guys done one of those infrared saunas?
I
Yes.
have, yeah.
I tried to have sex in one of those. It was
Gross.
disgusting.
Really?
I just think it's gross because you're not married, but
It seems like a good temperature for sex.
No, you're sweating. You're It's so.
But it's not that
Oh,
hot.
that sounds hot.
But it's
sweaty.
Not, it's not like as hot as a normal sauna though. So like you could probably have a good bang session. Like,
Really? I felt like I was sweating so much that like I couldn't breathe, and it was like a workout. Like I was just like I was.
Were
like,
you into the guy?
Yeah.
Who's the guy? Like you don't have to say his name.
No, this
but-
was like in a relationship.
Oh, this is your boyfriend. And how were you able to find a infrared
Infrared.
sauna with privacy like that?
They're infrared saunas with their own room.
Right. But like, okay, yeah.
Do you want the address?
No,
I
but
mean,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it because I've been to a few of them, and typically I'm envisioning it being difficult to pull off sex.
So basically, it was an infrared sauna. They had their own like glass room, and then you come out, and then there's like the own room. So you could either fuck in the little glass room.
Was this a fuck
Or-
booth? Was it like one of? Because there was a place in Seattle when I was growing up called Tubs, where you could like rent a room with a hot
Really?
tub.
Did you do it?
I never did it, but I did randomly lose my virginity in a hot tub.
Nice.
So, and it didn't really work either.
I've never understood people that could fuck in the water.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It messes up
What
the
are you, a fish?
lubrication.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You know, it's very viscous. There's something about it that's just like shouldn't rip you apart, but it does. For
It
some
does.
reason.
I don't know.
Not good.
Probably the chlorine. That would be a good start.
Yeah, but like but still, like think about just a shower. Like that is still a tough like fuck as well.
It's not.
Yeah, it's rare that you are dating somebody with the height that makes a shower compatible
True.
for sex.
Very true.
It's always like I'm standing,
It's like you have to
And
do a wall sit.
I'm like holding them up, but then the whole time I'm conscious of slipping.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very awkward.
Balancing act.
What do you guys think is the key to
Shower sex, swings.
A seat.
A seat is good. Yeah.
to a happy relationship?
I don't know.
I think it's humility and honesty and like lots of pause, like a lot of damaging things in relationships have been when like I had information that was like either unvalidated or not processed, and I just brought it out because I'm a reactionary person. So I would say something and then be like, fuck, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Why did I say that? That's so mean. But the big thing for me recently, like I'm in a program of 12 steps, and
What's that? SEP?
steps.
Oh, sorry.
I'm in a 12-step program.
Got it. Yes.
We meet.
I thought you were saying there were SEPs. I was like, what is a SEP?
Yeah.
But yes, okay.
But my sponsor, he said, just regardless, love your partner. Just love your wife. Just try to love her as much as you can. Which, like, I think a lot of times means like empathy and patience and forgiveness and things like that. Like things that I would take personally, because I definitely have very female instincts in like my reaction, and I don't mean to gender like an emotion, but like I'll get mad. I think like we have very like misbalanced gender roles in my relationship because my wife is the workaholic and the one that's like no fun work, and I'm the one that's like, let's go to the market, and I'll get hurt, because she'll like do something like she'll go to work and then socialize with people after, and I haven't seen her a bunch, and I'll just get all butthurt about it, and then I'll just be like, I really have to just focus on like what I love about her, things like that.
That's very mature.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, and I don't know if this is relatable or not, but like I never felt like, oh, I like want to be in a relationship. Let me find a relationship. I sort of like let it find me. I think that's an important thing. If you have that luxury, I guess. I live in New York City. There's tons of people here. You know what I mean? It's like easier to execute that here. Mm-hmm. But so I didn't ever feel the pressure. Then once I'm with a partner that I think it's just kind of like you get lucky too is part of it. Like I agree with everything that you said about like how you need to approach the relationship, but sometimes it just like ends up not working. And especially because there's like different steps as you progress. There's that early step where like you're almost not yourself yet, and then you progress to that next step as the relationship starts to mature, and you sort of need to like survive all those And like we have thus far, and
Definitely.
it's been great, and we live together now, and that's been nice too. And you know, no plans of ending it anytime
I'm so
soon.
happy for both of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my future's set because my wife's loaded, so it's pretty cool. No, I also think I heard the statistic that 50% of marriages work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 50% of arranged marriages work out. So it's like the same numbers.
That's crazy.
It's like I think a lot of it's just like, you know, like love is great, endorphins, you know, obsession, all those things that are, you know, the first time you have good sex with somebody, all that stuff is awesome, right? Like it's great. But when it gets hard and all that, and it's the same kind of work, you know, it's just being like, fuck, okay, I feel stupid, you know, like all that kind of stuff. I don't think I've ever gotten in a fight with my wife, which is, this is the very first relationship where I've like left angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just don't do that. We like fucking,
Work through it.
yeah, we punch each other.
I feel like my problem is like the people I pick. I think I was saying this yesterday to a friend. I think I need an arranged marriage.
I do think you have a problem with people you pick.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, I need an arranged marriage.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, I
What
do.
you need to do is you need to date somebody who you respect and respects you,
Yeah.
and you need to give them a shot to be lame and also to be, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. To be lame.
Like, we can't idealize, like, I can't tell you how many times this is going to sound really fucked up. You ever dating somebody and you're like, I'm pretty attracted to you, and then you catch a bad angle and you're like, whoa, I can't unsee that. Like, that's who you are to me now, and whatever. That's more like chemistry. But, you know, like, I've tracked, you know, we're online friends. I see some of the guys you date, and
Yeah.
I think that you have the same problem that like a lot of like pretty successful women have, which is like you're attracted to a type of guy that maybe is not the best. You know, it's not good, but there's something appealing about that danger. There's like a cyclical
Like the
side.
bad guy thing.
The bad guy thing, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's nice guys with tattoos, Natalie.
Yeah. Where are they?
Well, listen, you could be moderately analytical about your process of dating, the way that you would approach like finding your career path.
Right.
So every time you have a relationship, if that person isn't right for you, what wasn't right for you about them, and then just approach your next stuff with that knowledge.
Listen to
Right.
Giulio more than me.
No, you'll find your way eventually. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't beat yourself up if you're like, oh, I keep picking these bad guys. Like, pick whoever the fuck you want. Like, it's your life. You can date whoever you want.
Yeah.
And like knowing what your deal breakers are, like what are your boundaries going into it, and making sure that they know what those are and you know
Yeah.
what theirs are.
Yeah.
You know,
It's hard not to beat yourself up for your choices.
Oh man, I've been.
Yeah.
you can't do that.
I've made some of the worst choices. Not my wife, but like I dated a girl like 2 years ago that just was like, the second things got complicated in my life, she was like, when we started dating, you had a job, you know, and I was like, I love you so much. I'll get another job, you know, like I've had so many toxic relationships that were such bad ideas, but
It's ego
Yeah.
shattering. You just feel like a piece of shit.
Seriously, like
Yeah.
I don't know. They just shatter your ego, and you're like, what the fuck?
also, I think that there is a lot to be said for the relationships to your parents.
Yeah.
You know, like my mom is a depressive, cynical, emotionally unavailable woman. And I have chased that a long time, being like, this girl's sarcastic. And then I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
this is my mom again. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You know.
feel that.
That's
I'm
good.
like, oh, they yell. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
They're angry. Nice.
Sweet.
That is, you know, it's fun. You're young still, so you can spend your 20s dating, you know, chaotic.
No, I don't have the time. I have things to do on my list.
Okay.
What's on the list?
I want to be successful.
You have hair in your mouth. Get it out.
I want to
Oh,
swallow my hair.
Wait, but you're saying you don't have time for a relationship?
No, I don't have time to like waste my time being consumed by someone that's not healthy for me.
Oh.
How long have you gone without dating somebody, like, at all?
Like 6 months.
That's a good amount.
How single are you at the moment? Like, how long have you been single?
How long I've been single? Since I would say the end of
10
January.
a.m.
Okay, so somebody's gonna swoop in the next 3 months.
Yeah,
and
my
scoop
dad
you
keeps
up?
being like, "You sure if there's no guy?" I'm like, "No, Dad, there's no guy." He's like, "Okay."
I've never done it, but I've heard that being single is really good for you.
Are you? You're a serial monogamist as well. I am
I
a
am.
I'm not.
hardcore serial motherfucking monogamist.
I am not, and it was being single. Like he was definitely came with some loneliness, but I went for big chunks of time being single. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
Definitely give it a shot.
I definitely like had a lot of fun in those moments that I wasn't. But I basically like if I have sex with you and wake up the next day and I like you still, I'm like, we got to get married.
Me too. Me too.
We gotta get married.
It's so bad. Like if I have sex with someone once, I'm just like, so what's our kid's name gonna be?
Yeah.
literally.
I feel that. But I always had so much fun when I was single. It's just this propensity to fall for somebody and then be like, oh wait, it was so fun to be single. You know, I was always envious of people that like I never had my own apartment and was single. That would have been crazy.
That would be cool.
I think about that sometimes too. I was never single and had money, and now I'm kind of like, oh man, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But like, would it have been? I don't actually know. Like, there was plenty of things that enabled me to like get around the needing to have money step. Like, I had a good show. That like people would always come to. Like, there was other ways for me to like meet girls without having to spend money.
I don't know if the money would be any different. I don't think until you can be like, you know, like private jet rich, it really makes that much of a difference.
No, but even just like the ability to like do things with.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't even have enough money to do that for like pretty much the entirety of my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, never. Maybe in tiny spurts when I got lucky, booked some random one-off thing or something. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's rough. I'll tell you,
Embrace it.
my mom's basement. It's cozy.
That's where you live?
Yeah,
Nice.
Nice.
That's okay.
it's nice.
Do you like it?
I do like it.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm envious of people. Are your families East Coast?
Yeah.
See,
My
I'm
parents
so
live
envious of people who
2
can
hours
take like
away.
a train and just see the folks.
It's nice. I try not to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Do you have a? Well, wait. You have a comedy special that just came out, right, Andy?
I do.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. It's called The Coward of Gramercy. It's me doing comedy for an hour, and it's on tape and audio. It's like I'm proud of it, but it's also like it's on YouTube. I would love it if you went and watched it,
Yeah.
but
I gotta check it out.
I don't. It's you feel so weird now, like with like the self-release stuff, because it's how everybody's doing it. But it's not like one night only with Andy Haynes. You know, it's like I do stand up every night. So yeah, it's cool. It's nice to put something in like encapsulate something and let it go, because then you can go start
Yeah.
working on new stuff. And it was also I really like enjoyed asking people to share it and getting all this like positive feedback from people who like I admire, and you know, like I was kind of afraid to ask people to like repost it just because we were talking about this before. It's like it's really hard to self promote if you kind of don't like that, you know.
And you know, how many times have we heard conversations of people being like, dude, like, when's the last time I saw this person? Why is she hitting me up asking to repost her, whatever, or whoever?
It is crazy when people fucking
do that. And like, I've been around for that conversation, so I'm like, am I gonna be that guy?
Right.
I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whatever.
I am that guy to a lot of people, and I don't care. You know, I know my heart.
Dude, no, I mean, that's the thing to remember too. It's like there's a kind of personality type that like just you can tell wouldn't do it the right way versus somebody who would.
Yeah, I didn't go. I didn't like shoot for the fences. You know, I got some celebrities in my phone that I wasn't like, let me see.
Yeah, right.
You know, a piece of advice that I got once, and somebody else said this to me. It was like, you are your product, though. Like, you have to kind of separate yourself. Like, you have to be like, this is not me. This is Natalie is also my product that I'm like selling the way my brand would be like a shirt, right? So like that's why you kind of have to remove yourself when you're being shameless and promoting yourself that way, because you're like, this is like my product that I'm selling, like my comedy special, for example. So it's like the same way that I would fucking sell a shirt. It feels way more intimate because it's me doing comedy than like a shirt that I made. But the same way, like you have to push yourself promote yourself that way. And you kind of have to separate yourself like that.
I mean, I 100% agree that will help you. There was like, you know, 2 years ago, people started putting subbed clips up, and I was like, "What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're spelling everything out for these people." And meanwhile, those people would like have like 100,000 Instagram followers, and then I'd be like, "I don't. How do you do? You know?" And it turns into business, and you know, there's lots of things that I find cringe in this business that are just means to ends. Like the whole thing that you want to get to at the end of the day is you want to be able to make the kind of stuff you want to make, and you want to sell tickets and have shows that are fun and rewarding and a fan base that is, I don't know, hopefully engaging and positive. You know,
you want to sell out. You want to like make more than whatever the guarantee is for the weekend.
Yeah.
Like you want, you know, and like you said, it's a means to an end. So like, and there's different ways to do it. And the thing that has resonated with me is as I've watched people do their different strategies, it's like sticking with one of them and just like tediously doing it. To your point about like the artist thing, it's like, you know, you can grow in that way by just like doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Even if it like doesn't feel satisfying or rewarding.
I also, I just want to stay at the Four Seasons in Formentor, Mallorca for a week next year. So that's kind of the goal.
I love it.
Yeah, you want to move up the hotel.
Dude, I can't tell you what it's like to stay at like a fucking 5-star resort in one of these Mediterranean places. It's a whole other level. You forget about everything.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what you need to do.
That is what you need to do.
You need to find the dude that has that.
I always stay at the hotel where I'm counting all the cockroaches.
Ew.
What?
Oh, God.
You don't get put in those?
Girl.
No, never.
Everyone's like, oh my God, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know where I'm staying, right?
Do you have hotel tonight? Or they're putting you up?
There.
We got to talk about this offline.
Yeah.
That's not good.
You've never gotten put up somewhere and then you like just lie down in the bed and then you like look around and you're like, oh shit, this is.
I mean, yes, I did the road in the West Coast where it was like, you know, stayed in the middle of Washington State in like an office park, and the weekend was performing in a small room off of a small casino. So I've done horrible gigs, but I think you've outgrown that.
You'd think so. The gig was fine.
I'm telling you, you've outgrown
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I'm telling you that you don't need to stay in a shithole anymore.
Thank you. So, you know, yeah. Anywho.
That's another thing. To interrupt you really quick, I do think that there is like something that like we're talking about this timeline stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, one of the things is like embodying that worth, that self-worth that comes along with being a professional. You know, where people are like, oh, that's not worth my time. Like I did a lot of things that were not worth my time or not worth my vision or whatever, you know.
Right.
And also like just there's been so many times where somebody's like, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, mad about it, but I'm like, I gotta do it. And then like I'll talk to like my wife, for instance, and she's like, why the fuck are you doing that? And I'm like, oh shit, why the fuck am I doing that? You know?
Yes, totally.
So.
I completely feel that.
Totally. And sorry, what we were talking about this earlier, but like as far as, you know, you have to build a foundation. You have to like learn the basics of something before you can take liberties with it, right? So like, you know, by doing the same shit that everybody else is doing, by doing anything, right? Like, as long as you're doing something, you're going to like get closer to being able to have an understanding of it where you can then make decisions that make sense. You know what I mean? And if you don't like have that, then you can't.
Dude, I think you got to get into life coaching. Honestly, you're like a hot Gary Vee, dude.
Yeah, I've gotten a Gary Vee comparison before.
But hot, dude.
I'll take hot though.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
So, Ani, I usually close. Okay. I usually close out my podcast with pulling a card from an oracle deck. And the thing is that I'm so attached to it being a different deck every single episode. And I didn't have a different deck. You know what's so fucking funny? I had an oracle deck from the last episode that my ex gave me. Mm-hmm. And I had it in my bag, and I actually got sick from drinking when it was in my bag, and I threw up in the bag, and I threw up all over the oracle deck from the last episode.
Wow.
Go figure.
What? That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Well, thank you for not bringing those. I appreciate it.
It is crazy. And the crazy part is I only had 2 vodka sodas, so who knows what was in those drinks.
You're pregnant. I'm kidding.
The gift of life.
I'd say roofies. No, I mean, I think maybe it was the weed, alcohol. I don't know.
Ketamine.
Ketamine.
Yeah.
No, I think it was
Perks.
just
crocodile.
We've hashed it out. We think it's because we had some weed drinking and didn't eat enough.
Okay,
That'll do it.
that'll do it.
Anyway, I'm so attached to this idea of it being a different Oracle deck every episode that I was like, I'm just not going to bring any Oracle deck. But then Ani was like, no, you should have just brought an Oracle deck. Anyway, we are going, and then I'm walking here from my car and going into every store looking for Oracle decks. We're going to just pull one from online
Here
for
we
this
go.
episode.
Okay.
All right, so click to
Is this for
begin.
one of us, or
This
is it
is
apply to
this is
both?
just the energy of the episode.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna point up here. You guys tell me which one to pick.
Monster Energy. What if that's what we pulled?
I guess there.
Get it?
Wait, where does it say Monster Energy?
It doesn't. I was making a joke off of the energy of the episode. I like that one. Yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
The one over to the right is actually the one you had.
this one,
To the other one.
this other right.
Yeah.
this
That one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Ooh.
Whoa.
Nice.
Ooh.
This has been peaceful.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was about calm. Do you want to read it for us?
Sure. Freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. I mean, you did talk about that.
You know,
That kind of fits the theme.
I know these are designed to sort of like apply to anything, but this does feel like slightly more applicable.
Yeah, this feels very spot on.
Yeah.
Now is a time
Why?
for calmness.
Why is it upside down?
Yeah. Oh, the face on the egg is actually sort of tripping me out.
Oh, I just saw it.
I don't know
Yeah.
why it's upside
I
down.
think it's my face.
It's literally upside down. Yeah, the 23 too.
23.
Essential meanings: freedom from attachment, radical acceptance, protection message. Now is a time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions. Even if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life, all that means is that you must go within and fine-tune the extraordinary instrument that you are. This is a time to find harmony within yourself and not look to the outer world to provide certainty. This too shall pass, and once again, your life will sing with beautiful music.
I'm telling you, that
Spot
face
on.
looks
Love it.
a lot like me. I'm creeped out. I'm creeped out by this face.
What feature do you think it
Screenshot
resembles?
it. Can you do
We'll do
the
it side by
the
side.
shift control 4 or whatever?
Yeah, I would agree actually. The like profile and just like the structure of the face, and it does look a bit like you.
I'm creeped out by it.
I'm having a hard time seeing the resemblance here.
Okay.
Let's see, but I would like to see
Hold
a
on, I'm
side
gonna
by
zoom
side.
in.
But I think you can flip it
I don't know
if you do a screenshot of it.
Oh, you can rotate it. Yeah.
Do you know how to do the little shift whatever 4?
Yes, but I don't know if that's gonna.
Oh,
zoom
because
in
it's like one
something
of
else.
those. It's one of those things that.
I'm gonna do this for the moment and figure it out back.
Sorry,
then.
I'm getting
That's
everybody
good.
off track.
No,
this
no,
is a
you're
self.
good.
I'm
No,
bringing
no.
everybody on
This
a
is important.
fucking
This is important.
goose egg.
In the meantime, Andy, where can people find you?
You guys, please listen to my podcast, Find Your Beach, that I do with my wonderful wife, Rosebud Baker. That's available twice a week. One episode is free. And new album, new special, Coward of Gramercy. And check me on the grams for I'm Andy Haynes, where all my live dates are coming up.
Awesome.
What about you, Giulio?
My Instagram is now not Julio. Check out my podcast, Oops the Podcast. Also, my travel special, if you want to call it that, in Iraq. It's called Places You Can Go, Iraq. It's on my YouTube channel, and same notjulio.com for my dates and stuff.
Do you spell it not Julio?
It's not Julio because it's not Julio. Like it's Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you spell
I've
it?
been
That-
confused for years
I know,
about your name
I
because
know.
of that.
That play on words hasn't really.
I don't think it's bad,
It's not a home run.
but I literally was like, have I been saying your name wrong?
No, it's okay. It's Giulio, and it's spelled Giulio.
And the Instagram handle is.
Not Julio because people think it's Julio.
So how would you spell the Instagram handle for
Sorry.
the people listening?
Like Julio.
Notjulio.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
He's actually anti-Latin, but Latinx.
And as always, you can find me at Natalie Cuomo _. Thank you guys so much for listening. YouTube.com/Natalie Cuomo and on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Natalie Cuomo. And guess what, you guys? April 24th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm giving away a Nintendo Switch on my Twitch channel. That's right, I'm giving away a Nintendo Switch to a random subscriber for free. So check that out. And thank you guys so much for listening.